this been advertised and stuff?
Only in Brisbane Small Business. And welcome to Raw and Raw. Here we all are today in our usual level of professionalism, halfway through a conversation as I hit go. And secretly, I just don't tell anyone that I do that, just so that we can have a little bit of fun as we start getting on. Look, it's been a really big week, and I've found that emotions are running high. People are getting sick of being locked in, sick of teaching their kids. So glad that that school's starting to go back next week. So for so many people, from what I hear. But in general, it's been pretty big. So how are you guys coping? Either first, Leanne, come on. So Leanne's trying to get a little bit of an early mark. We thought we were going to get sponsored this week, but we're going to reach out to the sponsors for next week, and we'll have a bit more of a chat with them about creating a little bit of a show where we can all catch up and have a beer together. That actually said everything about your week, didn't it?
That was my week. So I am here. I survived the week. I didn't murder anybody. I didn't slap anybody. I had my own little meltdown, but we're here. It's Friday afternoon. The kids are listening to an audio book, so it's all good.
That is fantastic.
There's wins. No death. No death.
Hey, you survived, and that's the first part of winning. So somebody said, 80% of winning was just turning up. So you're still here. That's and 80% is more than 50%. What about you, Nathan?
Yeah, it's been a hectic week for a short week. Finally, an actual short week, not like last week that we got fooled up by. It's been a busy week. Lots of planning, lots of talking, lots of doing stuff, and hopefully joining Leanne with a few of those tasty beverages. Obviously, virtually as well, not physically joining Leanne. So, I'll be partaking in a few tonight, I think. So.
I don't know what's going to happen. You go.
I've Heather Locklear at this one, as you said. So I'm back in one piece.
I know. I think, as I said, I'm looking over my shoulder. It's like you two guys kind of take over whatever you join. So I'm getting a bit nervous. Adam's busy with the family this week, and that's why he's not here. But still, thanks very much, Adam, for the initiative of putting this on to help people get some cool content about how people are not just surviving, but actually, moving through this time period and coming out the other side in better shape. And we've got some really awesome special guests coming on the show a little bit later on that have some fantastic stories. They're not far away. But before we kick everything off and find out too much, Nathan, what's happened in the news?
So the news, it's been a busy week, even though it's been a short week. First off, we all realised our love of picnics, and then realised that we needed to maintain some social distancing. So a fair few of us got into trouble for that. Obviously not myself included at all, which is good. What else have we had? What else? So for all of those people conducting homeschooling, light has appeared at the end of the tunnel. There is no child deaths that need to occur, which is good. Good. That's what we want. Hooray, the next generation getting an education. And then obviously today the big news is an insight into how the next few phases of easing of restrictions will look. So good work to everyone for continuing to crush the cause. Thanks to all the healthcare heroes out there looking after us as well, and that sort of stuff. And in some slightly bad news, depending on where you fall with this one, we could be faced with the prospect that NRL is the only live sport in our near future. So I knew Kevin would be cheering, but for me, not so much. So
I can see that Leanne's obviously a very enthusiastic supporter of NRL as well. So I may be alone in that, and we may have to, I may have to carry the whole news on there. Everyone who gets sick and tired of how Cronulla's going this season. Already am, but we won't go into that. Look, I've got a confession to make for this week. I had a bit of a meltdown. as I was doing more and more research into the whole how the Queensland government is and isn't helping small business and that sort of stuff, I was getting really angry, and I was getting angrier and angrier, and it was coming out in my language. I apologise to everyone for that, and I noticed that I was getting angry instead of being angry about the issue. I was getting, so Leanne, can you help me, because this is what you do for a living?
Well, my take on it is, and I've talked to you a little bit about this already, but the words that you're using, you've used the word should a bunch of times, which when I look at things from an empathy space, there's a bunch of words that I look out for. And that's both when we're talking to other people and talking to ourselves. And if we get into this mindset of going, well, I should be like this, I should feel like this, I should have this reaction, then you're going to have an emotional reaction to that instead of going, well, it makes perfect sense that I would be getting angry. It makes perfect sense that there would be so much going on that I've never experienced before, that I wasn't prepared for. And I mean, I had my own meltdown this week as well, because it was largely, I wasn't expecting this to be so hard. So there's probably a couple of things in there. And the first bit is managing expectations. And the second bit is using that language of kindness towards ourselves and going, whatever I'm feeling on the feelings wheel is okay at the moment, so long as I don't get stuck in it. But so long as we're thinking, okay, whatever I'm feeling is okay, it's going to come and go, it's a learning experience, and whatever I react is okay, so long as, if it's something like anger, that we circle back and we say, so I did it before, I went and had a shower and then came back to the kids and went, I'm really sorry that I reacted like that. I probably didn't explain myself as well as I could have. I probably could have done these things better, but I'm really sorry that that's how I reacted, but this is how I was feeling, and sort of working through that with kindness and compassion for yourself, and not setting an expectation that this is going to be easy, that we're supposed to act a certain way, think a certain way, because we're in uncharted territory.
Absolutely. And, you know, I have been putting myself under a lot of pressure in relation to, tabling the petition in Parliament. And that was a scary move in itself. And then getting that message out there and having expectations that everyone's just going to jump on board and follow it and understand where I'm coming from. But I think that because I'm not expressing it in a more positive light with what we're trying to do, we're not getting as much following as we possibly could. So we're going to keep changing. I'm going to keep changing up that messaging. I'm going to, we have 650 signatures on the on the submission already. You know, it's over a 4 week period. We're on the way. I would love it to get to 15,000 and be the biggest thing ever in Queensland Parliament. And I believe with 438,000, small businesses, let's go for it. But at the same time, I need to recognise the fact that 15,000 is the highest ever petition in Parliament. And so whatever we get is awesome. If we got stuck on 650, that's still okay, because I've done the best that I can do. And so,
But I think also having that empathy for people out there, there is so much coming our way at the moment, and it's actually really hard to filter what's real, what's not, what's good. Everybody is plugging something at us and telling us something that we should be doing or should be achieving or should, whatever. There's just new information coming constantly at us that if you catch people in a good moment, cool, they'll sign it. But I think it's just keeping that empathy of going, well, I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep my messaging positive. I'm going to keep talking about something that I know is important. And hopefully we'll catch people at a good moment and a relaxed moment and they'll get on board. But, it's just sort of everybody feels overwhelmed at the moment, and so it would make perfect sense that either
Well,
things are through the cracks or things are bubbling over.
absolutely. And as we've all discussed, we've all had a bit of a meltdown in different ways, shapes, and forms throughout the week, and serious ones. Not just oh yeah, I had a little moment here, but had to catch our breath, catch ourselves, and so that we could look after ourselves. And I got to say, from when I realised last night how it was affecting me, that was when I was able to start turning the corner.
Yeah,
which was fantastic. So.
Yeah. And you think of how boring life would be if we didn't have sort of the peaks and troughs of emotions. And generally we make a nice change. If we're aware of it, if we're self-aware, we make a nice change after a trough. And you go, oh, okay, well, I wouldn't have made that change if I hadn't had that trough. Or we wouldn't be having this discussion. And we wouldn't be normalising it if you hadn't had that trough.
And hopefully this discussion, we did plan on having this discussion in case somebody else is having similar thoughts and has those unrealistic thoughts on them, unrealistic expectations on themselves, and going, I shouldn't be. Hey, it's okay. Be kind to yourself. It's okay. You are where you're at. If you do need some help, reach out. Okay, yeah. Reach out to anyone.
Stuck in an emotion. So if you can't get out of the anger, if you can't get out of the sadness, if you just are feeling stuck, that's when you reach out. But just realizing that emotions are the normal musical score of life and not feeling guilty about those or having false beliefs about those, but enjoying the ride in some sense as well and going, I'm not a robot.
Absolutely. Look, we do have a guest that has been waiting in the wings for a little while. We've got Janie Grant. I'm going to bring Janie on. You two guys are still going to be on screen, so don't start doing anything inappropriate there, okay? Hey, Janie, how are you going?
Hi, I'm well, thank you.
That's good. Here. Now, talking about people that have been through big changes, I got to say, when I heard your story, and we've known each other for a little while and been chatting on and off for a year or two now. And I got to say, when I heard what you had changed, Janie owns Ditto Dancewear and the Backdoor Studio. And Ditto Dancewear, in fact, you can tell your story way better than I can, Janie. So why don't you tell it?
Okay. I've been in clothing manufacturing since I was 19, which is more than 20 years ago. I've had a retail dancewear store since 2006, and we blended the manufacturing with retail so that we were feeding our own store, plus doing a lot of local performances, right through to stuff for a group called Circa who travel the world, and QPAC and people like that. So along comes COVID, and kaboompa, everything falls out from underneath me because there's just no dance, there's no gymnastics, there's no aerobics, there's no anything. There's no QPAC, there's no Circa. And the retail trade dropped out from underneath me, basically worse than 90%. For a couple of weeks, I just took a deep breath and thought, okay, this won't last very long. And then I went, okay, this
You were listening to Donald Trump. That was the problem.
I thought, it's just a bump in the road. I've had other
We're going to kill this thing.
Yeah. And then I had people putting $10,000 jobs on hold, and it all got a bit twitchy. And I then went, what have I done before that I can do again? And heck, I used to make scrubs for Royal Brisbane Hospital Emergency Department back when the earth was cooling about 15 years ago. So I had patterns semi-ready, and then I was also hauled into a consult with an industry representative group who were looking at doing gowns for Queensland Health. Now, I'd already thought of that, and I had already made the pattern and made the garments, and I'd found somebody to buy a few. So these washable but impermeable gowns came into the stream as well. And then I thought, the Australian Made campaign came along, and there was a lot of people on social media talking about, get rid of overseas imports, blah, blah, blah. And, of course, I've lost a lot of my business to overseas because of the way that the clothing manufacturing business has gone in the last 20 years, lost quite a large amount of business. So I thought we need to plug into the Australian made side of things. So I sat down and got out is this business, for looking for names, is this business registered? Is that business registered? What name do we got? And we've got www.aussiemadescrubs.com.au. And there are very few people actually making scrubs in Australia. If you go digging, I found somebody in Melbourne. I did find out the other day about a lady in Brisbane who started to do something with patterns a while back but hasn't proceeded. And there's a couple of smaller people doing pretty stuff for pediatrics and that sort of thing, but nobody's making them in bulk, apart from the one people that I found that are in Melbourne and somebody else in Western Australia. So I've, in the last 3 weeks, I've registered the domain. We created our own landing page. My girls are far more tech savvy than I. We created a landing page. Stop laughing, Kevin. We got this to work.
So Janie and I had a little bit of a test run on this morning, and it took Janie 4 goes to get onto our little live stream thing. So this is why I'm laughing a bit.
And also because I read a J as an I and was getting nowhere because my glasses aren't good enough.
That can happen.
Yes, yeah, that's why I'm doing this a lot. I'm looking down at you. So the webpage is up. We then put a link to, I've got another website called Identity Costuming, which is where we do our brags about our performance gear. And I sell some fabric on that website. It's already set up as a Shopify site. So I've got the 2 sites, but I figured I've got the retail dancewear and I've got the manufacturing. It was more in line with the manufacturing side of things than it was with retail. So I've put a page onto the manufacturing. So it links from Aussie Made Scrubs onto Identity Costuming, and then it just goes through Shopify as per usual. And they can buy via Shopify, they can buy with their credit card, they can pay PayPal. And that's the retail world.
So you're already getting some orders on this, right?
Yes, and you will laugh, Kevin, between when I hung up from you and now, somebody who was an orthodontist with 3 facilities found me this morning, came in, picked up samples, went away, tried them on, came back, booked me to go and see the boss on Tuesday, and it looks like it will be a wholesale order of something in the vicinity of 30 garments. So that will be $2.5 or $3 worth.
So the rumours
that won't go through the website because obviously if a guy's going to come in and buy 30 sets, he's not going to pay retail. But
no.
They found me online though, Kevin. They found me online.
So the rumours that you're saying yay for COVID, I can actually get those. That's not true at all. Sorry. What a great news story about how you've just moved your business.
Yeah. So I've just pivoted it. I mean, we're still doing, the retail store is still open, and obviously online is still open, and we're still getting people dribbling in. But it's not enough to feed us, and it's not enough to keep the doors open. So I need everything that I can get. Yeah.
So
I think everybody should wear scrubs. Well, they should have matching scrubs for your masks before you go out in public. No?
Excellent. So Leanne's put her comment in the wrong place.
Yeah.
She's put it into our private conversation. This is why I'm really distracted. I'll put it into the public one in just a second. Look, I'm a boy and can't do things at the same time. So that's why, I'm really lost. Look, I really love this story on so many different grounds, Janie, because, look, we all sat there and stared at our navel and rocked forwards and backwards a little bit when the whole thing first happened. Looking forward into your thing, as I said, maybe you're listening to Donald Trump. We're going to crush this thing a little bit too early. But then you cottoned on that maybe Donald didn't have the right idea. By the way, don't drink bleach, anyone.
No, don't even put it in your martini.
Not a good idea. So fantastic. The next big challenge would be for you to get into Queensland Health.
Yes, and there's an issue there though. I've been part of an industry consortium group that was dealing with Queensland Health about doing gowns. We ran into a whole lot of red tape. We did do some wash tests. They're still negotiating. There's one big manufacturer down in Melbourne that I think has already got their foot in the door. They're the guys that make the army clothes, so they're pretty big.
Yep.
But, the girl who's heading it up here, her name is Sasha Drake. She's one of the local.
Love Sasha Drake.
Yes, exactly. So she's actually a real normal human being, and some fashion people can be a little
Not. Yeah.
not.
Okay.
Yes. But she's pushing the point with Queensland Health and with the Department of Industry that they need to support local business. So
Absolutely.
and what they want to do is create a consortium of however many of us there are. I think she mentioned the point of like 40. There's 40 odd people in Southern, which surprises me because, you know, my business has been getting smaller and smaller. But that the government should, it's almost like it should be a quota system. And because I've been on a bandwagon for years because I've been making school uniforms since 1989 and just watched the whole thing do this because the big guys just go to Thailand. And it's just not right. And it's not right when our Olympic team goes overseas wearing clothing which is made in China. Hello?
So we will maintain this rage, but we need to do it in a positive light. And I'm going to say, so look, I do know that federally they've decided that they want to support more business. I know that the council have decided they want to support more local business and particularly giving bonus points for small business. Yep. So we'll find out, and there's different ways of navigating that. I did do some homework between when I talked to you this morning or this afternoon and now as well. That's going to shock you. I found a consultant that does have some contacts in Queensland Health.
Very nice.
Unfortunately, they're not in procurement, but that's given us at least a starting point. Okay, yep. So I'm gonna make sure that I hook yourself and Eric up. We may even do a show on Brisbane Small Business about this on Tuesday and have a bit of a chat about stuff so that people can see both how your thought process to how you got here, so they can see Eric's thought process of how he helps people, and that might give others new ideas on how to move forward as well. Thanks for sharing your story. I really loved it.
Yes. One other little addendum to that. I've got another client with her own label who is in the process of developing products which are based around recycled fabric, which is made out of fishing lines coming out of the ocean. She's targeting surf life saving and councils, and some fabrics are easily obtainable, some are not, but her big thing is made in Australia and preferably fabrics made here, but that's very difficult because we have very little in the fabric manufacturing world here. But that's another little arm that I've been helping her develop so that she in turn will come back and I will be her manufacturer for Australia, but the fabric will have to come from overseas.
Shame that it does. You could get hooked on that fabric.
Hey?
I said you could get hooked on that fabric. Don't worry.
Well done. That fabric comes out of Italy, so nothing's happening there right now.
It's not getting to Australia anytime soon. Look, Thanks so much. We've actually put the link in on the show for that, Janie. We're going to have another chat on Tuesday afternoon in Brisbane Small Business, find out a little bit more. I'll hook you up with Eric to, and that was no pun intended, in relation to, hey, how would you go about solving Janie's next problem of how she can get into Queensland Health and other places. But look, congratulations on moving so fast on, getting back up and running. And as you said, 30 garments, that would be okay. That's a nice little order.
Yep. I'd like one of those a week. A day.
We're not getting greedy yet. Thanks very much for your time, Janie. We're gonna take you out and we'll continue to have our next little chat. I don't even know what that's about, and I'm the one who should.
Bye, guys.
We'll see you soon. Bye, Janie.
Bye.
Bye.
So, guys, what a great story.
Awesome story. So
yeah,
good.
Right. And a really common thread about small business dealing with and trying to get into big business and corporates and government. And yeah, I mean, it's the age-old story. But yeah, more power to it. And the more voices you can get in that space, and people like Queensland Health have such a huge opportunity to really support small businesses, keep things local, and they've got such huge buying power that, yeah, fingers crossed.
Cool. So if anyone else has any contacts in Queensland Health with doctors' surgeries, dental surgeries, orthodontist, anyone that wears a gown, if you want to contact us or just contact Janie direct, that would be truly awesome. Would love to see how we can help Janie out with that particular mission. Because we've got a little bit of time up our sleeve, we might change this up and we might get Leanne to tell us a little bit about our social enterprise of the week.
Social enterprise of the week. Da, da, da. Our new segment. So
I'm glad you've got music to your segment because the rest of us don't.
yeah, like jazz hands.
Da, da, da.
So I'm going from although we're going from the empathy hat to the social enterprise hat, and I love both, but the one that I've chosen this week actually combines both of them. So Mind for Me is a social enterprise run by my friend David Toohey, and it's all about kindness. And so essentially what it is, it's a way for people to exchange kindness, but I guess without the guilt, without the, I feel bad asking people for something. And so what they've done is they've created this platform called Mind for Me. And by doing nice things for other people, you actually earn kind coins, which you can then cash in for people doing kind things for you. So it's like a currency within the platform, so that it's not just volunteering, but you actually earn kind coin. And it can be everything from, reaching out for somebody to water your plants or take care of your kids or, collect your mail.
Can I get someone to wash my car? Okay, that's not quite the idea. I get it.
Honestly, if there's somebody who's in a bit of a pickle, somebody who's by themselves, somebody who has had an injury or lost a job, then getting part of this community, to me, seems really obvious. That you go, I feel a bit awkward asking people on Gumtree to help out with stuff. I don't really have any friends or family, and I've kind of asked them as much as I can. Let's become, yes, they can wash a car. We've just had a comment.
Probably if they need that done, not if they're completely able-bodied and just being lazy, though.
Well, you know what? If you've done enough for other people and you've gotten a lot of kind coins and you've been giving and giving and giving, and you go, you know what, today I'm actually doing food runs and grocery shopping for my neighbor. I'd love it if someone washed my car while I was off doing that. Then to me that seems perfectly reasonable. But yeah, it's this sort of exchange of kindness without feeling guilty or embarrassed or obligated. It's like, no, I do this, you do that. We're all a big community helping each other out, and we earn these kind coins on the platform. So now they've got a bit of a deal happening at the moment. So you can join the trial for free, and that's at Mind, mindforme.com/join. But there's a crowdfunding campaign at the moment that they're running. So if you pledge $30, you get a year's subscription following the trial. So if you don't like ironing and you don't like washing the car, why not do that with the neighbours? So
You picked me in one.
mindforme.com, and you can go to, and there's links on there to their crowdfunding.
Join.
Yeah.
When you actually find the comment section, you'll see that I've typed that in. Fantastic. No, it's a great thing. So it's kind of like a pay it forward platform.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really bringing that empathy, kindness, community, shared resources together.
Fantastic. So, Nathan, what's happening with your BJCC soon? Anytime soon?
Anytime soon. Well, our next event is only a week away already. So we're doing a virtual chocolate tasting. Can you believe it? Virtual chocolate tasting. I'm waiting for the shock to, yeah. So we partnered up with a fantastic business, New Farm Confectionery, and we've got Jody, the owner and founder, doing a live stream 6 o'clock next Friday to hundreds of people. It seems like at the moment she's already processed almost 100 orders already for chocolate packs that are being delivered literally across the country. There's orders out to Victoria and New South Wales and South Australia, and they get to stream in and taste some chocolates and learn all about cacao manufacturing and producing and all of that sort of stuff. So that's our next BJCC event.
That's cool.
So virtual chocolate tasting. Do you also get to have either some red wine or whiskey with that? Either or?
We have also partnered up with Grape Therapy for this event, and they've done a few matched wines. So Freddie did a blind tasting, I think, at the start of this week, and he worked his way through. I'm sure he slogged his way through many and varied wines and varieties and that sort of stuff, and he's come up with 3 perfect matchings. So everyone can jump in and buy those and get those delivered as well, or pick them up and enjoy those with the chocolates on the night.
It's perfect weather for red wine and chocolate.
It is,
particularly
right?
as it gets a little bit cooler in the afternoons. Yeah, I'm loving how it's getting a little bit cooler in the afternoons at the moment. So yeah, it's fantastic. We have a very next special guest star, and I'm going to get Nathan to introduce Claire because he knows her so much better.
And because you prepared so well.
Hey Claire, how are you going?
Good, thanks.
Look, I do know that Claire runs the fitting room that does tailoring and adjusting of both men's and ladies' business attire and casual jackets. But Nathan, you're quite often dressed by the fitting room, aren't you?
I am. I've been a long-time customer and even more importantly, a long-time friend of Claire.
There you go. So Claire, can you tell us a little bit more about the fitting room? Because I'm sure you've got a far more professional way of describing it than what I just did.
Yeah, so we are in the fitting room on Edward, and we're based in the Brisbane CBD. We work in clothing alterations and tailoring, but mainly to help professionals look good and feel more confident in their own clothes.
That is way more professional than what I said. Thank you. So tell me, this whole COVID, shutdown, nobody going to work, so everyone working from home in their pajamas really doesn't help the fitting room with extra work, does it?
No, not at all. Unfortunately, for us to get business, we have to do personal fittings, and that means standing very, very close to the clients. So when social distancing came into effect, we essentially had to close our stores for the last 6 weeks. Because clothes have been worn, they have been touched by people, fitting is very close proximity. So for the safety of our team, we just shut down shop to promote the social distancing. And we've only reopened this week to try and collect some mending and some repairs now that people's back in store. Are you laughing at me?
What's homeschooling going there, Claire?
I'm trying to multitask, so I keep an eye on them so no one falls off their bike.
Okay, so falling off the bike is the biggest danger right now. That's fantastic. None of us have ever done that.
This is by the way.
Look, when I was a teenager, I think I pushed my sister into the fence. Broke a nose. Let's not talk about that again. Homeschooling in the 70s. So what did you do? So obviously you've had this massive break from revenue.
Yeah. And we have a huge team. Initially, when we closed, it was very scary for everyone. We had a team of 15, and we just didn't know how we were going to keep everyone on, how we're going to pay them. And the team were all because most of them are not, they don't have English as their first language. So they were nervous about going to Centrelink and explain all of the circumstances to try and get some Centrelink payment. So we're very lucky when JobKeeper came in, and I'm able to give it to pretty much all of the team members. Still in the last 6 weeks, we couldn't just sit around and do nothing. So I've been keeping an eye on what everyone else is doing in the industry, and face mask is something that is very topical. We did end up decide to make some fabric face masks, but initially I was a little bit skeptical because if not correctly used, it can be more detrimental to your health rather than preventative.
Absolutely. Now, Nathan, you've actually got one that was prepared earlier, haven't you? Okay.
I do. Now it looks
Claire,
like a bank robber.
Well, one of those scary guys on a motorbike. Absolutely, you do. Claire looks far less scary than you do in it, though. So, Claire,
Well, that's just in general anyway.
yeah, so the Australian government's out on whether we're going to all be forced to wear face masks and all that sort of stuff. They're still making their mind up on that. But some people want to wear it just for their own protection or to protect others. There's two reasons that you wear them. So, in coming up with the designs that you've got, where'd you get that from? Did you make that personally?
Well, I'm a bit of a minimalist, so we just chose a design that is very clean and tidy. So it's more suitable for kind of all genders and professionals. So I've just found most of them on the website, on other websites, they're very floral, they're very pleated, and it's very hot. So we've chosen this very clean design that still gives a bit of breathing room. And the best thing is we were able to use 100% upcycled fabrics. So all of these are very, very high quality suiting fabrics made by Holland & Sherry. So you get a Super 120, Super 140s, cashmere silk, all this kind of fabric that we just have boxes and boxes of them from clients. So we're able to use that to make it even more stylish.
Fantastic. That's a really good story. So how much are your face masks?
They're $27 each, or you can get it for $3 for $75, and you can get it on our website.
So,
and I think Nathan is distracting people. I've got a range of colors. They're not all blue, and they're not all bank robber style. We've got some light colors and blues and greys and earth colors.
I've got to say, our show's just gone off the rails a little bit. We've got your kids screaming in the background. We've got Nathan being a model extraordinaire-ish. And then we've just had Leanne's, one of the children, almost come into school, wanting to come and play too. It's out of control. This is great. I don't know whether you guys noticed. You've got a dog next door barking the whole time. It's not one of mine, I'm proud to say this time. So we're having a ball. So what's the website that they should be going to?
It is the fitting room on edward.com/shop. What color do you like, Kevin? I think a nice dark tan or brown check will suit your complexion.
I think dark tan would be awesome.
I'll have a look next week.
The fitting room on Edward.
Yes, it's a mouthful.
.com.
But we're able to keep some of the team busy at least to be productive in this time and not just sit at home and going crazy. And
absolutely.
I was listening to Janie talk before. I caught the second half of it, and it's funny because we have actually started making doctors' gowns.
Excellent. Well, you should reach out to Janie as well because, as I said, they're looking to get a big consortium of local made. So yeah, absolutely. Have a chat with them because let's face it, if an order came in from Queensland Health, it's going to require more than one person to be making that. So it could require a few teams, and we are all in it together. So we should be helping each other out. Now I think I've got the fitting room on Edward right, but if not, somebody will fix that up afterwards. I love the fact that you've just gone, hey, we need to keep our staff busy. We found JobKeeper for most of them. This is fantastic. What can we do now? And you've just managed to turn the corner fairly quickly. I know that I saw Nathan wearing one of these like 2.5 weeks ago. So ever so stylish in the Courier Mail or something.
Yeah, it was a very good piece with a beautiful caricature drawn.
Yeah, your beard's got a little bit longer since then when you put the thing on.
Yeah, it doesn't cover your mask, Nathan. I'm going to have to make you a bigger one.
It's
Make me look like more like Ned Kelly. I think that's go for like the whole head. Let's just like
just get 9 bucket. Claire, thanks very much for your time. Really loved having you on. So thank you. Thanks a lot. We'll speak to you soon. Bye.
bye.
So, hey, that's another good news story. So obviously we had very clothing focus show today. That was purely by accident. You guys got any plans for the weekend?
What day is it? Oh, Friday. Nope. Oh,
Today's
Mother's Day. Mother's Day. Don't forget Mother's Day. Take the children as far away as humanly possible. Well, within 50 kilometres, but give us a couple hours because we've been Mother's Day.
So what you're hoping for is the picnic of 5 so that you don't have to go.
Picnic of 3. Yeah, that'd be great. I'd love it.
Anywhere else.
I always said
And then some gin, and that's it. We're done.
I always said my ideal Mother's Day present cost $3, although you can't do it at the moment. It cost $3, and it was a cup of tea, a piece of chocolate, a book from the library, shut the door, go away. That's it. That's all I want. Mother's Day doesn't have to be expensive. Tea, chocolate, book, go away.
One day those libraries will open up again.
Yeah, but it's funny because we go, oh, Mother's Day's a chance for us to sort of have a breather and Daddy to take the kids away. But Father's Day is time for Daddy to spend quality time with his children.
Look, there are some inequities here. We'll address those ones another time. Look, Nathan, what about yourself? Any plans? You going to visit your mother?
We'll see how we go. I think gin is in my near future. Leanne has made me very thirsty, and I must admit I did snag a few chocolatey goodies from starter for next Friday. Of course, there's just quality assurance.
So that's next Friday afternoon after our show, isn't it?
6 p.m. next Friday. Yes, correct.
6 p.m. So there's a bit of a break in between. But everybody, please, if you don't know about BJCC, if you don't know what they're doing with this, please don't hesitate to reach out to Nathan and BJCC. There is a deal for Brisbane small business members, I do believe.
Yes, there is. I do believe as well. But neither one of us can remember what it is right now, can we?
There's a code somewhere in the backlog of our Facebook emails. There is a code. If we can't find it, we'll make up a brand new one for everyone. Nathan puts on great events. That's the one thing I can say. If ever you want to go to a great networking event, go to one of Nathan's. They are always awesome. Soon,
thank you, Kevin.
To be the Inner West Chamber, or the Brisbane West Chamber of Commerce.
Brisbane West is the one.
Very soon will be just as good as the BJCC as Nathan takes control of that. With Brisbane Small Business, hey, it's going to be another exciting week. Please, if you haven't already shared the petition to your every single person you contact at least 15 times, keep doing that for me. In fact, it's not actually for me. Here's the whole thing. It's for us, and it really is for us, because I just want small business to be on the agenda of the state government, right? They just seem to forget about us. That's my goal. I want to help them. I want to remind them that there's 44% of the business community is small business. Just shy of 1 million people. Let's not get left behind. So the link for that I put in earlier, it's simply just bit.ly/support-small business. I'm going to have a nice relaxing weekend. I'm going to ignore my social media. I've got a Zoom meeting with my parents. My sister organised it. She knows nothing about Zoom, and for some reason she thought she should organise a Zoom meeting with my parents. They're in their mid-80s, and technology is not their strong point. So it's going to be awesome fun. Our greater family's got there's 4 kids, right? So then there's about 9 grandkids. Actually, I've exaggerated there. There's only 2, 4. There's only 7. I knew I exaggerated. So yeah, it's going to be fun. All of us sharing, playing, the Brady Bunch, and stuff. So that'll be an exciting highlight of my weekend. So please, everyone, enjoy yourself. Don't forget to send your mother your best wishes. At very least, that's if you can't afford a cup of tea, a biscuit, and a chocolate, and a book. We all know what to send Leanne for a birthday now.
Yep.
You guys have a great weekend, and we'll catch you later.
You too. Bye.